A very quick one. Have you discovered your calling, your purpose, your assignment here on earth? Do you know what your assignment is? I don't mean your calling to the pulpit as a pastor, no, or a preacher or an apostle, no. I mean, do you know why you're on earth, why you're existing? Do you know who you are meant to be? Do you know if you are designed to be a business person? Do you know whether you're designed to be in the health sector, in the political sector? I call it a calling, not just an assignment, not just purpose. You see, many people make choices about career, what they want to be. And they go to the institution, they study, they come out, and they are frustrated because they cannot find a job, or maybe things did not work. The purpose is this. Some did not know that they were not designed to be here. So many people read health courses, but they were not called. The original template about their destiny was not about health. They were meant to be in the business world. Some people read engineering courses and they came out as engineers, best graduating students. But they are struggling in life because they could not find contracts that can put food on their table. You know, I used to say this way, that you have a first class from school does not mean you live a first class life. You can have first class and fail in life. You can have first class and fail in business. You can have first class and fail in marriage and struggle in life. So have you discovered the purpose why you're existing? No matter every area of your life you succeed, if you didn't know the real purpose why you're here on earth, trust me, in eternity you will fail. Yes, in eternity you are a failure. It might not make sense to you, but I want you to listen to me carefully. Every man has a calling that must be answered. You see, every man will give an account of how he lived his life on the last day. The account means you will give a report about the assignment that you are sent to do on earth. How did you do it? That was the parable about the master who gave talents. He said to some he gave 5, to some he gave 2. Even the Bible said to some he called to be apostles, some teachers, some prophets. That is to make you understand that life was programmed and designed in a way that it's meant to run as an administration. So when you don't know these things, you can struggle and waste time, and you abort seasons in life. So I use a simple way to analyze this calling. Calling is like putting a call over the phone. If I put a call across to you and you pick it, fine, you've answered the call. But do you know we can end up quarreling over the phone? We can end up disagreeing over the phone. We can end up abusing each other over the phone. This is what has happened in many destinies. Many people have found their calling, they have found purpose where they are meant to be, their place of assignment. But the problem is they misused it, they abused it, and they are struggling to get it right. And they are blaming many things. The factors around them seems like it's working against them. But they are the ones who kick the bucket against destiny. So what is your calling? And then if you're not answering your calling as a man here on earth, in the day of report, the report you give is what determines what the appraiser will look like. Because there will be an appraiser. There will be check and balances. There will be auditing. You'll be audited, checked. Evaluations will take place. Okay, he did well. He didn't do well. He's qualified. He's disqualified. You can be disqualified. Now, I don't want to spend time talking about this. Let me take you further to understand that human beings, creations, are portals. We are projects designed to project an image. Yes. It's just like when you put a flex, a billboard. You put something on the billboard. You are not there. But the work of the billboard is to project what you gave it. So what has been given to you to project in destiny? In your field of work. That is why when you get to place of work most times, don't be so focused on what you take home easily. No. Understand the assignment, the purpose of being there. Were you there to invest? Were you there to be impacted? Were you there to impact? Were you there to give or to take? What is the exchange? There is an exchange always. Now, why people have problem with all these things is because of the state of their mind. I can tell you this. It's for free. You're not paying to get it. The mind is the governor of your reality. Not really the governor in full, but to an extent. Why do I say this? You can be the captain of your mind or the captive of your mind. You know, a captain is in charge, a captive is a slave. So you can be the captain of your mind or the captive of your mind. When you are the captain, you are in charge. You give orders to your mind. So your mind can come up with things and you take time, you evaluate it, you go through it, you check it, you decide whether to work with it or not. But when you are captive, whatever your mind brings, you take it. I saw this life be. This life don't tire. You see, a man who is in charge of his mind don't say things easily. It takes time to think the word to say. Because he understood that I am in charge. Whatever I speak, my mind takes it and work with it. Because the mind is a wall that hears voices. The mind is a channel. The mind is like a megaphone. A microphone. When you speak out, the sound speaker gives it out. The sound speaker emits it. What are you feeding your mind with? The Bible speaking, Paul said, there are things I wish not to do. I see myself doing them. These are the areas that he could not take charge. And you see one thing about this mind thing, until you understand it, you might not know it. You will not be in charge of it. If you know the health benefits of a balanced diet, you want to eat healthy. And you benefit from it. But when you don't understand the purpose of having a balanced diet, you eat anything you see, you will suffer the effects of the things you consume. The mind struggles with your appetite. Appetite not necessarily what you eat as food. Appetite can be your desires. The mind goes on with pressures that the ones you can give into, it will haunt you and hurt you. They're the ones you can push back and say, no, I can't allow this. The mind is battling with the environment, what the environment brings. Things to respond to, things not to respond to. It's just like an electrical field, an input and an output. So inside the mind, there is a wiring. The current that it generates is the reality of your life today. Yes. And inside your mind are your weaknesses. So when you gain mastery over your mind, that is when self-control is activated. That is when discipline is activated. That is when character is activated. You see, these are topics on its own. Self-control, discipline, character. You can be learned, but character will deprive you of your calling. Remember, I'm talking about calling here. Not being consistent, steadfast, self-control can deprive you of many things. The state of the heart, the mind. You see, these people that Jesus was speaking about in the book of Matthew, they healed the sick, they raised the dead, they did all manner of miracles. But he called them workers of iniquity because of the state of their hearts. They didn't show love to the people who were naked. They did not feed the hungry. The mind determines whether you are proud or not. You can be a proud person without knowing. You see, you will not really know these things until an event, a scenario that will touch some point, some part of you. You know, there was a time I thought I've conquered money. Yes. Because money comes around me and I'll be like, money cannot stop me, money cannot change me. But when pressure came, there were things I did with money, there were the way I related with money. I was like, wow, I've not conquered money. When I mean conquering, I mean money cannot make you change your mind. Yes. Because you can be made offers to change your mind. See that, the state of the mind. Because the mind is a recorder. Things will come inside. That's why you can sit, sleep, you dream of the things that happen in the day. You can picture what even happened. You can see the future, you can see the past. The mind. So I realized that money was a mountain. I began to work on it. I say, if this can happen, what if it happens in a negative way? How will I handle it? Food is a mountain. There are people that once they see food, they suspend everything they are doing. They can be got easily like that. That is why you see people who are being poisoned by their drink, by their food. This is their appetite. Pleasure was their weakness, and it's the mind. There are people, their weakness is their tongue. They talk and talk and talk and talk. No matter how much you try to control them or tell them, they will never know. Even when they are losing it, going beyond, they will think they are still intact. You see, I learned something from a great man of God who used the word, he said, learn not to speak, learn to listen. So I came up with that listening means silent. That doesn't mean you don't have something to say, but keep calm. The ability to control your tongue means you're in control of your mind when it has to deal with utterances. Your circle, the ability to say no. It takes a lot to say no. This person, if I say no, the person might get angry. And not saying no will end your life in destruction. You can say no to negative people. You can say no to red flags, signs you see that you cannot accommodate around people. Say no to it. Yes. It might be hard or harsh on them, but you have to. Your association. Yes. There is a relationship between association and allocation. Yes. Let's not go there. So, are you the captain of your mind? Or you are a captive of your mind? Because it takes you to be in charge to take charge. If you're not in charge, you can't take charge. It takes a commander to command. If you go in the military, a recruit cannot command a general. No. In the military rankings, you cannot command your superior. You know why? Ranking. So the level of your mind determines how you operate in your calling, where you are destined to be. If you're not in charge, you'll be a captive forever. Many people are captives till date. And you see one thing, don't think you get better. Let me say this to you. If you do not answer God today, you will answer him in eternity. If you don't answer him today, you answer him in eternity. And the painful part is this. Like I give an interpretation when you are calling someone over the phone. When the airtime finishes, the call ends. No matter the magic you do, the call ends. It's not a miracle. So when you are called and the timing for that call is reading, if you do not answer it, once the time expires, you expire. Once time expires, you will be retired. Yes. There are times and there are seasons. It's in the book of Ecclesiastes. God is not stupid for him to document such a thing in the scripture, that there are times and there are seasons. What time are you in? What is it saying by the calendar and the time, the clock of your destiny? Are you ahead of time or you are behind time? Because you can never be the two. It's either you are ahead of time or you are behind time. Where are you? What's your role? What's your take? What's your flow? Wake up. Wake up. I can tell you, majority are behind time. In the history of Israel, once you are 20, you'll be enrolled into the army of Israel. That was the Bible record. But that is the Bible record to say. So once you're 20, you're qualified to be in the military of Israel. What are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your calling? Let me tell you this. There are people who will not actually work in the petroleum industry. They will only be classroom teachers, but they will become millionaires and billionaires. You know why? Because their gifting and their destiny was designed to be classroom teachers. Because through them, a good lifestyle, culture, character, a positive living will come through them and enter the children that they will teach. And through those children, they will come back in appreciation to appreciate them and give them gifts that will change their life financially, spiritually, materially, in different ways. This is an understanding you must have. That is why anything you are doing, try to check if you are being led to do it. Are you doing it because others are doing it? Or you're doing it because you are led? You have a divine prompting and leading. I will stop here. But just know this. When the airtime for your call finishes, your new name will be Ikabo. The glory will depart. Yes. The glory will depart. You see, your story will be the story of Maranatha. So you'll be crying for God to come, but there will be no improvement. Your story will be like the story of Eli and Samuel. Eli was a man who walked in the ways of God. The dimension he came with, there was no kind in Israel in his time. But a point came, his eyes were dim. Not dim because he could not still see, no. But he could not see through the corridors of eternity, through the corridors of purpose, destiny, his calling. You see, his voice, his ears can no longer hear. Because when his eyes became dim, the voice of God became scarce. You see, when you're in alignment with purpose, when you're in alignment with your assignment, access becomes very easy. At the flip of your hand, things work. People will be confused about how things work around you, but they cannot help it. I'm telling you. Find your calling today. While you do that, work on your mind. Be the governor of your mind. Be the captain of your mind. Don't be a captive. Be in charge and take charge. God bless you.